Steve in Haymarket, Virginia. Hey, Steve, thanks for listening to Sirius Satellite Radio, Sirius XM. What's up?
Yeah, I'm just sort of baffled by the expectation that socialism is going to do anything other than fail, since it's failed for 10,000 years. Any country that...
Wait a minute. Hey, let me stop right there for a second, Steve. Are you suggesting to me that when people get together in a community and they look out for each other, you know, what has historically been family, community, neighborhood, city, that when the early Americans, you know, with pilgrims, the pioneers, whatever you may call it, when they got together and they did barn building, that was all socialism. Are you suggesting that that all failed?
Well, that's not exactly what we're talking about.
That's the history of the human race, Steve. Nobody ever said, sorry, you're on your own. You're part of the 47%. Screw you. I'm not going to help you build your barn. It's just like that. You know, humans aren't wired that way. We help each other out.
And that's fine, but that's not what we're doing. What we're doing is we're sending our money to Washington, D.C. to feather the beds of a bunch of pointless bureaucrats who think they're God.
So would you rather be sending that money to what? To Minnesota, to United Healthcare, so that the CEO of United Healthcare can make another $1 billion?
I'm not saying that either. In other words,
would you rather send that money to J.P. Morgan Chase so that Jamie Dimon can make another $1 million? Or $100 million?
Republicans or Democrats, if they steal money, they shouldn't be allowed to do that. It's a very simple thing.
Well, no. There's a simple choice here, Steve. We have reached the point in this country, and we reached it a long time ago. I mean, George Washington was the first president to actually sign into legislation a law that used public funds to create a housing for the poor and medical care and food for the poor, for the poorhouse here in Washington, D.C. That was George Washington. Abraham Lincoln gave away hundreds of thousands, millions of acres of land west of the Mississippi to Americans. You get 40 acres if you go out there and homestead it. That's how the West was founded, with a huge federal government program, a huge federal giveaway. And that's how the railroads were built, by the way, too. What would be the equivalent of $3 or $4 trillion in today's dollars was given to the railroads by Abraham Lincoln in order to build a railroad system that he could use in part to fight the Civil War, but in part that built the United States. All of this stuff is what you would call socialism. This is how we built this country.
Yeah, it was done by low bidders.
No. The point is that this point that we reached that I was starting out with is we've reached the point where we can't do things on our own, like build a hospital. Like if you get cancer or have heart disease, you can't just say, I think I'll build a hospital and I'll become a doctor and I'll do my own surgery, right? I mean, maybe 200 years ago or 300 years ago it was like, here, bite this bullet, drink this whiskey, and we'll dig that cancer out of you. I mean, that's what happened to the daughter of John Adams when she had breast cancer. And, it didn't work all that well. We've gotten more sophisticated, and it was the barber who did it, by the way. And, we've gotten more sophisticated than that, and it costs a lot more money. So now you've got a choice. You can either have Medicare, for example, where 3% overhead is taken out to administer all those funds that provide for the health care of millions and millions of people, or you can have United Healthcare or Blue Cross Blue Shield who skim 20, 25, 30% off the top so that they can pay their CEOs millions or tens of millions, or in the case of United Healthcare, $1 billion. You've got a choice. Is it going to be the big corporations? Is it going to be the Koch brothers? Or is it going to be a government that you elect, that you can even run for office for? Are we going to go with the America that the founders fought and died for? Are we going to go with our government? Or are we going to go with the corporations that are trying to take over this country? Your choice, Steve.
Well, the point is that the Obamacare system, if my cancer comes back, they're going to hand me pain pills and a suicide pill. They're not going to treat me.
No, there are no provisions for either in Obamacare. I would suggest that you educate yourself about it.
All right, at any rate, but the other thing that George Washington said was, government is not eloquence, it's not reason, it is a force like fire. It makes a dangerous servant and a fearful master.
Sure.
The problem is right now
he was speaking of the British
master in the White House.
I would suggest that you go to healthcare.gov. Healthcare.gov is a website that explains all the details of Obamacare. And if you can find, and literally all of Obamacare is there. I mean, you can read the entire legislation. if you can find any suicide pills or pain pills for cancer or death panels or any of that other crazy stuff that Rush Limbaugh is trying to shovel down your throat, call back and tell us all about it, Steve.
I already know it's there.
It's right.
I've already read it. I know it's there. It was in Washington State, and the guy had exactly the same cancer that I had, and they handed him a handful of suicide pill or pain pills and suicide pills.
Well, in Washington State, if two doctors, I used to live in Oregon. I'm familiar with the assisted suicide laws there. If you can have two doctors certify that you're within 6 months of dying and that you are in intractable pain that can't be treated, then you will be given something that you can use to end your own life. And I'm actually in favor of that, Steve, and that's got nothing to do with Obamacare. Those are state laws. There's one in Oregon, there's one in Washington State. And as I said, nothing to do with Obamacare. That's death with dignity.